Oh my God, it's episode 6, bitch. What up? How's everybody doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's your host, Chris Marks, aka Jake Peary. This is Useless Threats. Welcome to the show. We're going to do something a little bit different real quick. I'm going to let you know on something. I'm trying to improve the sound quality of my show, and it's a little difficult because I just realized that my input volumes were a little too low. You're going to get a little bit more S-ing in there. I'm going to try and correct that with it from my intro versus the rest of the show. I'm going to try and equalize out the levels. I'm going to try and bump up the compression. But overall, my episodes have been too quiet, and I apologize for that. Anybody who's trying to listen on a phone or anything while they're doing loud work like me, while I'm trying to edit them, so I can do the description because I don't remember the whole episode. Do you think I remember the whole episodes when we've been drinking the entire time? Hell no. No, I do not. So I have to listen back to them. And of course you want me to listen back to them so that I know if they're good or not. If not, I'm not going to put them on here. So there you go. So anyway, so I have to be able to listen back to them. I have to be able to know how all of this turns out, So I am going to be doing a little bit of experimentation. Hopefully this all turns out good with it. Fernando's probably listening to this right now like, what the fuck? He had to do this on my episode? I'm sorry, dude. Dude, seriously, your stuff will be fine, though. Don't worry about it. It's just hopefully the levels aren't crappy compared to the intro versus the rest of the show and everything like that. But I am pretty sure I will be able to have it equalized out. If not, it'll be a little bit overly compressed. Most people probably won't notice. Anyway, just a little stuff going on. I'm super excited right now. Had one of my last classes of the semester, so I'm chilling right now, drinking some Bookers. It's fucking awesome. What else is going on? We had taped the stuff already for episode 10 for Bucket of Beers. It sucked. I'm gonna be honest. I did it while we were at the brewery. We had too much shit to do, so we're gonna redo it. We're going to redo it, and we're going to redo it with something special. There's going to be a lot more people involved, which makes it even fucking cooler. So I'm super excited on this. So just a quick thing about the show tonight. The show, well, I guess you're going to be listening to it in the morning, but the show that we taped is Fernando Torres. His actual title is Scientist 1. I believe it. What he does is he is a cancer research scientist who puts out tests for different types of cancer. He will insist that this is not a cool and interesting job. Did any part of that I just stated not sound fucking awesome? Because if it didn't sound fucking awesome to you, then you are anti-American, my friend. I don't know why, but you are. That's what you are, communist fucker. That's how it is. Okay, so without further ado, here's Fernando Torres. I will talk to you next week. Hopefully these levels are awesome. I am so stoked right now. Enjoy.
Can I bleed on this?
Huh?
I did a little bit of coke. I think my nose is bleeding.
Oh, yeah, you can bleed all over it. Do it, man.
I'll just swipe this.
Yeah,
right
yeah. The last episode, Stu is just sitting here freaking sniffing beers like right into that mic the whole fucking time.
Oh, my God.
So welcome to the show. I am...
Oh, yeah. What is the name of this show?
The name of the show is Useless Threats.
Useless Threads.
This is my guest, Fernando Torres, over here.
Yeah. Oh, let's not use real names. Let's just call me F. Torres.
You want to go by F. Torres?
That's a little too specific. How about Fernando T?
Fernando T. This guy's funny over here.
Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, man. So, yeah. So, we're sitting here right now. Chris Marks, a.k.a. Jake Peary. That is my alias on the show.
Chris Marks?
Yeah, I thought it sounded cool. I don't know, man.
It does sound cool.
Yeah.
It's like code play, bizarro.
It really just had to
Front
do
man.
with the it sounded funny.
Yeah.
Every Chris that I've ever met is really interesting.
Really?
Including one of the dudes I interviewed a few weeks ago is my old singer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all just nuts. Like they're fucking nuts in a good way. Like they're just crazy. They're fucking awesome. And then I know way too many Marks. That's all that name.
Yeah.
That's how that came together. 'Cause I knew way too many Marks.
I know one Chris who's the opposite of interesting, and I know no Mark.
He's a D-bag? Is that what you're saying?
Mark is a D-bag.
Mark
I
is-
know,
Mark
I know
is-
Mark is a D-bag. No, he's just, Chris is a little, he hangs in the background. He hangs in the background. He's
Hangs in the
like,
background.
let me just let everybody else put on a show here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember. I think it might have been Stu. Might have been Stu who said it. I think it was. But he said that every Mark he's ever met is really weird on the inside.
Really?
And I said I agreed with that. And I can't. Maybe was it Mark? Or was it Chris? I don't know. Someone I was talking to on this show said that. I have a terrible memory.
Yeah.
But someone on this show said that they're like, every Mark I've ever met is really strange. No, it was Kellen, and his episode hadn't even come out yet.
Oh, really?
That's what it is. Yeah, his episode's next week. No, but he was saying, he was like, every Mark I've ever met is really weird really weird in the end of it. I was like, you know what? I can attest to that. Like, every Mark that I've met is really weird, except for the guy who I'm working for right now. And so both Kellen and I were just sitting there, we're just like, something's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Something's gonna come out with Mark.
That would be
Mark's,
nice.
Mark's a weird guy. That Mark, yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be cool. I wish I'm a first impression kind of guy, so I guess
Yeah.
I just don't give people the option or the chance to become weird. I like weird people. If you're too straight arrowed, I'm just gonna move on. Yeah.
So did I pass the test? Did I pass the test?
Who, you?
Yeah.
You wear your weirdness on your sleeves.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I like you. As soon as you said jazz piano, I was sold.
okay. So my pretentiousness is what sold you right there.
I play
Jazz
jazz piano
piano.
and lay down flute tracks. That's the Jake Perry I know.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude.
I mean, Chris Marks.
Yeah, and Chris Marks. Dude, it was funny too. So like I originally went at this show like I was like, this show I called it Useless Threats. It's gonna be really offensive. We're just gonna be really raw about everything.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to use fake names because we don't want it attributed to ourselves and everything.
Yeah.
And then like by the second fucking episode I realized it's like that is not going to happen at all.
Yeah.
I just want to let stuff happen the way it is. And yeah, there's definitely some like crass, crude, humor. I want people to say what they want to say and everything, but not only was I just like, well, fuck this. No one wants to talk to a bunch of fake people.
Yeah.
And then the next thing was I was just like, I was like, okay, well, my buddy just called me Jake like 10 times throughout this fucking interview, and I don't want to edit it. I was like, fuck it. I was like, it's out. It's done. There you go. Chris Marks, a.k.a. Jake Perry. Here we go.
Yeah.
So-
I like it. I like that way. Too many people, forums, I guess, is the major thing. Everybody hides behind their user name.
Right.
They just say a bunch of bullshit. You're like,
Right.
hey, at least everybody knows our name. If they have a problem with us, they could, hunt us down.
Yeah. I agree. This is a different side of you. I'm liking this.
Yeah. I don't know.
So for people listening out there, Fernando and I are in a class or in several classes
to
together.
the one California guy.
Yeah,
listening.
to the one California guy. That thank you for announcing that again to the one fucking listener I have. Yeah. Oh, that's good. We're classmates together. We've hung out like twice. Once was when we were studying, and the other one was when we did the double date thing.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's
And we
right.
haven't gotten to really hang out since because both of you and I are freaking busy as hell
Yeah,
all the damn
We are
time.
busy lives.
This is fun. This is cool. I
Yeah.
hadn't gotten to really talk to you one-on-one except for when we were studying and jamming out to old Kanye West at fucking at radio. Dude, we closed that fucking place down.
That was
I
funny.
felt so bad.
We did. You felt bad. I was just like, I'm out of here.
You're just like, I'm fucking done.
I'm done with this place. Yeah. There were nice people at that coffee shop, which will remain nameless.
I already said it.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
They already know we live in Austin too. I talk about all the fucking places I go to. They know I'm at Thirsty Planet. They know everything I do.
Oh,
These people are not hidden from my life.
That's awesome. So
I bet.
yeah. So you plug things on this show? Because I have a product I want to sell.
You want to plug? Yeah, go
Yeah.
plug. What do you want to plug?
I would just like to plug myself and
Fuck yeah, do it.
I'm for sale on eBay. Buy me immediately. I'm poor. Anyway.
You know, honestly, it's funny you bring up plugs because I was actually just talking with it when I did the interview with Stu. He got really into it, which I was really stoked about. That's the exact response I wanted. Is I want people to get really into it. He was so stoked about it, and he showed because of it, I've had 14 downloads in 2 days of the last
awesome.
episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just him and his girlfriend sitting here trying to show people, right? Because I can't tell or anything, but. From what I'm told, he's told people and people downloaded it, which I'm really stoked.
Yeah. That's the way it starts.
He got really into it, but we were coming up with ideas of things to extend onto the show and everything. And I wanted him to be a reoccurring guest. I was going to do him every 10th episode. And then we're going to do an interview coming up where he has a sales friend. He's like, hey, would you want to interview us both together? I was like, fuck yeah, let's do two. Yeah. That's fine. He's funny as shit. I was like, all right, man. But we were talking about, he goes, if I was to make a commentary, I would say the thing that your show needs is you need breaks. So you need some breaks in there because these shows run an hour and 35 minutes. They run around there. And so for me, I'm someone who I grew up with talk radio. I used to hate it as a kid, but now it's nostalgic now. Yeah. And now I do is listen to talk radio between podcasts and AM radio and everything with it. Yeah. And it doesn't bother me for having the extension, but it does to other people. Yeah. And I was like, well, what better way than plugging some stuff, man? Yeah. What better way than I wanted the people that I interviewed to be mostly people who are craft beer enthusiasts or in the craft beer scene or just people who I found really interesting as well as musicians. I'm just well, fuck, as soon as I get some musicians in here, I'm just going to be man, we're going to interview you on here. We're going to have 3 breaks in there. And we're gonna play your songs when we do it. We're gonna do you can pick out 3 songs you want to play on there or 3 clips. Yeah. And so then you get exposure, I get exposure. We get to go build a relationship. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing, man. It's a good thing. It's just furthering more art going out there, and
I like it.
I like it, man.
Yeah,
I was just and he was he came up with the idea. It's you're a fucking genius, man. I was like, that's badass. He was like, dude, you want to write some music together until you get some bands on there? I was like, fuck yeah, I want to write some music together.
That's a brilliant idea. Yeah,
man.
I love that.
I wrote the theme song that plays on here, but I don't play it on here. I play it. You hear it after. I'll show you on a break, but you hear it when we do the full episodes when I edit it in because I always do an intro before it of whatever. I like to go and give a little bit of information about how I'm feeling that day. It's my fucking show. I can fucking tell people how I feel that day.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little new to the podcast world. I heard a couple of podcasts.
I'll be quite honest. So am I.
Yeah.
I found my. Believe it or not, this is gonna sound funny. Me saying this over the air. I found my second podcast that I got really into. I've heard other ones that I've browsed over and stuff. Been this is cool. Yeah. But my first one that I got really into is Mark Maron's What the Fuck. He's got 500 episodes and he's awesome. I listened to his first episode today, and that dude was so much. He talks about it before, but he was so much angrier and so much more political in his first ones. It was at the start of it was just right in your face. So it was I was just God damn, man. The second one that I listened to was how did this get made? Yeah. And you need to go check this one out. Do you ever watch The League, the show The League? I think we've talked about this before.
The League. It's the workplace guys, right? No.
Not Workaholics.
That's what I'm thinking.
The League is about a fantasy football league.
No, I know what you're talking about, but I haven't watched that.
You gotta check that out. It's fucking hilarious. But the dude who plays not Dirty Randy, sorry, Rafi in it, and the dude who plays Andre, and I unfortunately don't know the actors' names off the top of my head. With it, Paul Shear, something like that. Yeah, and then Jason something. But they're absolutely hilarious. But their shows are where they do commentary on terrible fucking movies.
Are you serious?
And it's amazing. And I listened to the first one today that I've ever listened to, which was Deep Blue Sea, and I'm obsessed with sharks.
Yeah.
So they're just, oh my God, dude. I'm sitting there kegging beer today, sounding like a fucking crazy person because I'm just talking and laughing to myself this whole fucking time. Oh my God, it's good that it's loud in the brewery because I almost fell over so many times. And then so Stu texted me and he was like, dude, he goes, I've been showing up the podcast. Everybody says it's hilarious. I was like, dude, you want to see fucking hilarious? You fucking listen to this.
That's funny.
And he's like, okay, I'm listening now. He's doing his job. And he's like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, dude, so good, so good. Tyrell over at the brewery, he's one of the brewers there.
Yeah.
Got me into it, but it was fucking phenomenal.
I
Anyway,
gotta listen to that.
yeah, dude.
I love Deep Blue Sea. What hilarity is on this podcast of Deep Blue Sea? Give me an example. What's the Wait, it does commentary while the movie's playing?
No. It's after. It's like a review of it.
Oh,
They
it's a
play
review,
some
yeah.
clips.
Yeah.
But like, okay, like LL Cool J's rap at the end, where it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
my hat looks like a shark fin.
Yeah.
They're talking about how cool LL Cool J is in that movie
Oh,
too,
my
and
God.
it was just so many things that didn't make any goddamn sense.
No, yeah.
And I'm sitting there, dude. Hey, I love Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
I'll watch Sharknado all day. I'll watch any of those fucking things that come on Sci-Fi that have the same exact cast
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
It's like Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, fucking Sharktopus, all that shit. When I used to have cable, I used to watch those things all the time. I want to see that. Fucking see a Megalodon jumping like 500 feet into the fucking air and grabbing a plane as it's taking off from an airport. That's what I want to see.
Absurdity. when does Sharknado 2 come out?
I don't know. I haven't even seen Sharknado 1. That's actually one I haven't seen. I saw
Are
like
you
the
serious?
first few minutes of it.
Dude, I heard it was like a blockbuster hit for whatever. a
Was it
television
really?
Show is a blockbuster hit. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. It was so good they made a part 2.
That's amazing.
Yeah, isn't what's her name is in there? Who's in it?
Tara Reid?
Tara Reid. Yeah.
She used to be really hot. What happened to her? She went crazy and
how
had
did,
like
she
terrible.
get famous? What is she famous for?
She was Van Wilder. You remember seeing Van Wilder when you were younger?
Van
Maybe
Wilder?
that was just me.
That's it?
National Lampoon. No, she's
Yeah.
been in other stuff, but
Uh,
I always associate her with that because I'm this horny, young freaking teenager watching this.
yeah.
And I'm just like Ryan Reynolds to me is like God because I'm just sitting here. I'm like, this guy's so cool.
Yeah.
He's like the cool college guy.
Yeah.
And Tara Reid is looking fucking gorgeous,
Yeah.
coming in there. And now she's like, I don't even know, man. She got like, there was all those tabloids about she's like crazy and she had botched plastic surgery and shit.
I believe it.
I don't know.
Tabloids tell the truth.
They do tell the truth. The only truth is in the National Enquirer.
Oh God, yeah. That alien baby, so real. So real.
Name that quote. Where's that from? Who said the only truth is in the National Enquirer?
Oh, that was in Men in Black.
Yeah! Yes! All right. Cool. Well, I need another beer
Yeah, yeah. same
really quick. We're going to take a quick break. This is where I would say we do some music.
here. Oh yeah.
But for now, it's just going to be like a 4-second break. But we're gonna take a quick break, get a new beer, and then we're gonna talk about my buddy Fernando over here. Fernando T, or are you going by F Torres? Which one are you going?
We'll just go with let's make up a name. Rusty Shackelford.
Rusty Shacklefruit.
I stole that from a television show.
I would never have guessed that. That's a pretty badass fucking name. All right, we'll be right back.
All right. It was like a natural thing for dogs to learn how to pee. Like they just
Yeah, I thought
picked
they
it up.
like kind of naturally had that instinct of
Like-
of what to do.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna raise my leg before I pee on it. But no, you gotta learn it. I guess you gotta see it somewhere.
Yeah. So I don't think we mentioned this before. Before we started out the episode with drinking Thunder Kiss by New Braunfels Brewing Co. This bottle was better than the last one I had. I don't think I've said it on the show, but one of my favorite beers out right now is Black Fury by New Braunfels Brewing Co. It's an amazing sour dunkel, and this is the bourbon barrel aged version of it. And I was saying to him, man, to Rusty, what? Shackleford. I thought it was Shackle Fruit, which was like,
Oh my God.
which was nuts. With it, but anyway, no, I was telling him that the only problem I have with this brewery is that their carbonation is either like too much or non-existent.
Really?
Like too much to the point of where I'll open the damn fucking beer and it'll go everywhere. And I'll lose like half the beer. It just pisses me off. And it's probably because he's doing bottling conditioning, which I wish he wouldn't. I wish he'd force carbonate. But
what is butter?
so bottle conditioning is where it's done a lot by home brewers.
Yeah.
And what it is so you just put the beer into the bottle and you add a little bit of residual sugar that'll make it reactivate the yeast that's in there. And then it'll carbonate inside the bottle.
That's what they do with champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, is that's how they do it in the? Do they do it in the bottle?
They do in the bottle. They add. I don't know if it's in the bottle, but I know they add sugar to add the carbonation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For secondary like fermentation, then they'll add sugar in with it. I wonder if
did
they
not
do
know
do
that.
it in the bottle.
I
I feel like that would actually make sense because you have to cork it and it has to sit.
Yeah.
Fun fact: did you know the only reason that Dom Perignon is famous is because they and the original monk who did it invented the cork and cage that
No.
held the champagne bottle in. Yeah,
I did not know that.
it's not because it's excellent. I'll tell you. I mean, excuse me, Dom Perignon's good.
Yeah.
But it's overpriced. The reason it is because it's so old. It's such an old winery, and because they invented that, they invented the Cajun cork.
Also, I feel like the name's been dropped in a lot of rap songs.
Oh yeah,
Over,
oh yeah, oh
overhyped.
yeah, oh yeah.
They're also the only champagne with a clear glass bottom, right? Is that right?
I don't know that. Maybe that's
I
cool.
thought that was like one of their gimmicks.
Could be. I have not drank enough of it to say.
I've never drank one. I just can't.
I've had
afford,
one.
I can't afford to be in the presence of one.
I've had one once.
Yeah.
It didn't seem special to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not a champagne connoisseur though, so I couldn't say. I can tell you definitely like, good red wines, but I just had a
You hear that?
crazy.
What's going on?
Do you hear that?
Yeah, I do hear that. I'm off by a second.
All right, we're back. I don't know what happened right there. That was weird. There was like some weird MIDI error, which I don't even know what was going on because we're not using MIDI. I didn't think.
Interesting.
Maybe there are things I don't know about my recording system. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, we're back. Sorry for that technical difficulty. No, we were talking about.
Part
I
two.
didn't know that there was a clear bottom though for Dom Perignon.
I thought that was the thing. Like, yeah. All right. So I read an article where the owner of Don Perignon made a slightly racist comment that it's not meant for those people, in which he was referring to black rappers, and I think he just really wanted to refer to rappers, and like he meant for Dom Perignon to be like a high
class, right? Which
champagne.
yeah.
It wasn't targeted towards the color of their skin, I think. But
he meant it as black people.
maybe that's why the glass is clear.
Oh my god, that's fucked. That's funny.
It's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
that's fucked. That's funny.
And then soon after, Jay-Z has his own bottle of champagne called J. Perignon. I think I'm making that up. I don't know.
Well, now we're drinking Ballast Point's Victory at Sea, and it's a porter with coffee and vanilla. And I gotta say, this is fucking delicious.
This is
now.
actually fantastic.
This is
one of the
amazing.
best beers I've had this week.
I'm loving this right now. I'm
Yeah.
really glad to be drinking this right now with you. So cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, thank you for this.
Yeah,
sharing
man.
This,
Hey.
beer with me.
This is the freaking show, man. This
Yeah.
is what we do. We
Yeah.
drink good alcohol, and
Mhm.
we have funny discussions.
You
know?
also recommended a beer aged in tequila barrels. What beer was that?
Oh, you mean Senor Viejo?
Senor Viejo.
Yeah, man, that's from Twisted X. That's local.
That was
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah,
That
it's really
was
good.
Delicious.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man.
And very high alcohol content. Fucking laid me out.
Did you where'd you get? Did you get it on draft? Or you get it in a bottle?
I got it in a bottle. Yeah.
Got it in a bottle.
Got it over there at Witchcraft.
Okay,
Plug.
cool.
Yeah.
See, my only problem with that bottle is I told you before is that I think it's just a little high priced.
You think so? How much was that?
It's like when I've seen it before, I thought it was like $17
It was not $17
for a 22.
I did not pay $17 for that.
I mean, I know it was on sale recently, so you could have paid
Yeah.
less. But I don't know. I just always thought like it's not that it's like. I guess I'm not trying to say it's not worth that money. I'm just like you guys are charging a little bit high here.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, hey, mad respect for Twisted X. They're right down
There
the
must
road
be a
from
reason
us.
for charging that high for a local brewery.
It's probably the process because
Yeah.
of how long it takes with it. But it is a damn good beer though, right? I mean,
delicious.
it really is, and yes, it will knock you on your fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like it will.
Yeah.
There's
This
no
is-
doubt about it.
Oh, man, this is really delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I could drink this all day.
Oh, hold on. What ABV is this? What ABV? This is. Where we're at. Yeah, I'm loving the shit out of this. Have you had Relay's coffee porter?
Yeah.
That's
God,
one.
I
That's like
love
probably
it.
my favorite one. I
Is
don't
it
know
really?
what it. Yeah, they just fucking killed it with that one. I don't even know. Just go get fucking Ross over here. Ross lives like in the building next to me. He's a
Yeah.
buyer planner for them.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's who
man.
got me into the industry. He's
Okay.
fucking badass. I actually was just at the dog park with him right before you got here. I was like, oh shit, I gotta get back into
That's
this
funny.
episode. But I was telling him about this. I'm gonna have him on in a few weeks. This does not
Yeah.
say. I did not see it. It's an imperial porter though, so it leads me to believe that it's probably above 8%.
What does imperial mean? When you write that
Double.
into the name, is double?
Double. It's
Double?
another word for double.
Like
So
imperial Russian stout is double.
So a lot of times what happens for it, like, so here's an example. This is how we do double buckethead.
Yeah.
So there's a process in brewing called sparging. And
Mhm.
so what happens is once you've done the mash and you've done a Vorlauf, which is where you're taking the water from the bottom of where the grain is and the sugars at the bottom, you're recycling to the top, so everything washes through the grain.
Yeah.
You're set with like sugar water, right? That's what's eventually going to turn into the beers. You got sugar water, which is going to go with the yeast. It's from the grain.
Mhm.
That's how you get the initial flavors of beer, and then you add the hops.
Yeah.
And so when you're transferring it over there, you do a thing called sparging, which is where you're rinsing the grain.
Okay.
And what'll happen is you're adding some more water to it, which will cut it with
Okay.
it. Because what happens is if not, it becomes very sweet. So you got to cut it down because and it also lowers the alcohol with it.
Yeah.
And there's a balance to it, and there's different breweries have different ways of doing it, but that's essentially the way you're doing it. And so like to do normal buckethead, they're sparging and they're rinsing, and there's a little bit of water added to it when you add to the hops, and it lowers the alcohol. I mean, buckethead's 9%, so it's still pretty high.
It's really
And
high.
for a fucking IPA, a normal IPA, that's quite high.
Yeah.
But what they do with double buckethead and what they do with like Imperials is they don't add water.
Oh.
It's just straight into it. And so it's just all the sugar that was created from that mash, the yeast are now going to feast on it until they're done.
Yeah.
And that's how you get beers that are like 12% and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then when you start basically when you start getting into like really high alcohol contency beers, Sam Adams used to go and attribute their high alcohol contency to what they like to call ninja yeast, which was a champagne yeast strain that they had.
Mhm.
And then what you do is you have to barrel age them, and you mix barrel ages, and that's how you get like beers up to like 21%, and you get beers up to like past that is you're just mixing barrel ages till the alcohol becomes higher.
Whoa.
Because the difference between and I'm not going to get really technical into this because I don't know it well enough to say this.
I think you should. I think this is where your core audience lies.
I would love to, but I need to learn a little bit more about
Oh,
this.
yeah,
The difference between distilling and brewing
Yeah.
is distilling starts as a brew, as like beer, essentially.
Right.
It's the same idea. Is you're making a mash out of whatever you're making it out of, and you let the yeast go to town. But what you're doing is you're filtering out everything but the alcohol, essentially.
Yeah.
And so that's where you're getting it. So like I mean, so you can do. I don't know what the configuration is. I don't remember. I got told once,
Mhm.
but it's basically that you're gonna make a crap ton. It's like doing a wine reduction sauce. That's the best way of putting it. If you ever heard of like doing a wine reduction sauce for cooking,
Yeah.
is you're gonna take like a whole bottle of wine and reduce it to like that fucking much sauce. You're talking about reducing it to like a fucking teaspoon's worth, right?
Yeah.
Or a tablespoon's worth.
Okay.
That's what you're doing.
I
Is you're
see that.
filtering out essentially everything except for like some residual flavors that you're wanting in
Yeah.
there out from it, and that's how you're getting all like the pure alcohol with it. And then like moonshine is like fucking like grain alcohol, which means you filtered everything out of it, and it's just it'll fucking blind you.
I've seen it happen.
Have you really?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that was actually like that was really sincere. The way you just said that was super sincere. That was great.
I have had moonshine before.
Real moonshine or shit you can buy in the store?
No, real moonshine. Like
Really?
Someone made this and like brought it to a party. I was very, very hesitant to try it out,
Uh-huh.
but that shit laid us out, and someone thought they couldn't see for a while. And
Really?
really thought they were blind, and they're just really drunk. Is all they were.
I mean, it would be pretty hard to do it. Like, if it's someone you knew, they probably bought a moonshining kit.
Yeah.
Like, because you can buy those. You
Oh,
can do
really?
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
you're
yeah.
right.
You can buy
Yeah,
distilling
yeah.
kits and do stuff like that. But the, like, people out in the country making, like, actual moonshine and stuff, the problem, the reason that becomes so dangerous is because there's no, like, health regulation
Yeah.
going into it. It's the shit that gets into it that's the problem. It's
She's
not
like-
the high alcohol. I mean, the high alcohol will probably just fucking burn your brain, and your liver, but
Yeah.
it ain't gonna make you go blind.
It's all the metals from the contraptions they're using.
Yeah,
most likely.
yeah, they're doing all these rig stills and everything for it. But yeah, I haven't had that. I've had overproof rum, which was fucking amazing when I was in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, straight from like the fucking distillery in a goddamn milk jug.
God damn, that sounds delicious.
Dude, it was amazing, and the rum punches that they did at the place I was staying were always made with it.
Yeah.
We were staying at like a local like hotel ran by a couple. It was amazing, and they always warned us before. They're like, you watch out for those rum punches because they're always done with overproof rum.
Oh my
She
god.
has in a goddamn milk jug for it. You have 2 of those and you are shit faced. And
Really?
when I say 2 of those, I'm talking about like 8-ounce glasses.
Oh my
We
God.
ain't talking about like any pint glasses or anything, but we're talking about these little fucking glasses filled with ice, all the way. And then like it's not even like high pours of liquor. It's just that fucking rum is so damn strong. And it's like Everclear, right? You remember back in high school or whatever, like drinking Everclear and getting fucking sick as a dog.
Yeah, dude.
Because you don't taste it
Yeah.
and you're just done. And I mean, I remember doing this, and I remember drinking that, and of course it's in freaking Jamaica, and I'm teaching by day,
Yeah.
and then I'm just fucking baked out of my mind by night by the like freshest shit you could ever get. And I mean, there is so many nights of where like luckily you're just walking around of where it's just like I stumbled into my freaking room or whatever,
Yeah.
doing it. It was a fun time. That was
That's
a fun
hilarious.
time.
No. Explain this teaching thing. What were you teaching down there?
So
I do not know.
this one I'm not gonna give away the name of like where I was with it and everything because
Yeah.
I don't want the school to get in trouble because they
that's
had
fine.
nothing to do
Yeah,
with us doing
With
this.
Chris Marks.
I mean, it's kind of obvious. You're in Jamaica. I mean, come on, and you gotta hook up, and you're with the locals.
Yeah.
You're gonna hook it up with it,
Yeah.
but I don't want to do it. But I got to teach music in the schools there.
Okay. Yeah.
And my school that I taught at was the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I taught jazz piano there for a week, and it was really fun.
Wait. So jazz piano was a class?
Yeah, it was like the lady who set it up, who was my teacher, had helped establish the music program in Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Yeah.
She was like responsible for most of it being there. She's like regarded like a celebrity there.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's like this old freaking white woman who's got you ever watch 30 Rock? I can't remember this lady's name.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember Jack Donaghy's mother?
Jack Donaghy's mother. No.
The old woman that's like really like just in your face forward and doesn't give a crap what she says and everything about it. I'm gonna have to look this up again in a minute of what the actress's name is.
I do know,
You know
who
who
you're
I'm
talking about.
This is this
Yes,
woman.
I
This is
love
this
her
woman.
already.
That's the exact
Yeah.
attitude and everything with it. She's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh.
But she set everything up there, and so what we did is we got to go and we would go at. I think we went to 3 different schools. There were 3 different levels, and then you got to choose which one you wanted to stay at.
Yeah.
And I chose this high school.
That's fantastic.
I'm still friends with the girl on Facebook.
Yeah.
Too, and several of her friends too. And I taught her jazz piano, and it was fucking awesome.
That's fantastic, man.
It was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and we didn't stay. So one thing that when I was growing up, when my family and I when we go on vacations, my mom was very much about not staying at like a sandals resort or anything.
Yeah.
She's like, we're gonna see the country, and we go and we would like go through all like local stuff all the time. And
That sounds beautiful and dangerous simultaneously.
Yes, it was, but she knew what she was doing. The woman
Yeah.
was really good. She also, I mean, I'm first generation here,
Yeah.
technically from it, and she's Cuban.
Okay.
So I mean Cuba. So I mean, so you know, and she lived through all that whole freaking crisis and everything that happened through it. So danger for her isn't really that. I mean, there are probably certain things that would stir up like some bad memories, you know what I mean? But like, I don't think she's too concerned about it. She knows what she's doing, you know, with it. And I don't think we've been to any countries that were like under any kind of pressure at that time, you know, when we did it. So
I'm not talking about countries, it's just anywhere in general.
yeah, no, but it's true.
Yeah.
No, but so the place where we were staying
Jamaica.
in Jamaica, it was a local ran place, and it was absolutely beautiful. It's called the Verney House.
Okay.
And it's run by this couple there, and if you ever want a place to stay in Jamaica, it's amazing. You got to watch what you're doing, because, I mean, Jamaica is dangerous, and you don't want to go outside at night by yourself with it.
Yeah.
But it's like 4 levels going down. It's going down the side of a cliff, and you can stand up on the rooftops at night and just look out on the ocean from like 200 feet up.
That sounds beautiful.
It's fucking amazing. But we were doing that, and we had stayed at this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the week, and then at the very end she took us to a sandals resort, and it was one of those things where she kind of like smiled when we went there.
Yeah.
And all of us, like, we had a fun time. I mean, we got shit faced for free.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome, because they knew it. I mean, everything, all the drinks are free, everything's free.
Yeah, that's right.
But we
yeah.
kind of just looked at her at the end. I mean, it was just kind of like, I know why you brought me here. And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about with this shitting and grin on here. It's like, this is fucking fake as hell. Like,
Yeah.
anybody who's coming here, going to this country, you haven't seen shit. You don't know what's going on.
I wholeheartedly support like going outside of any resort and like,
Yeah.
staying local, enjoying the experience. There's so much that you miss out in the culture. Like when you visit a country, there's so many things you can learn from the people. There's so many cool things you could visit. Like I completely agree with that.
Have you done that? Have you? I mean, have you gone a lot of like places? Have you done that kind of stuff? Or like that's the only place I could say that I have done that. Like I'm not. I know I talked about my family with this, but like I mean, most of the vacations we've taken have been in state, and then like there was a few ones that were outside of the country. But I was very young when it was happening. But that was the first one that I'd been like there, doing that shit.
Well, outside of the U.S., a friend of mine is very much against staying in hotels and such, and he's like, we try really hard to avoid the touristy places, and I was really like a sheltered child when I grew up, and like I was really into like the whole chain of everything, like fast food chains, like supermarket
Well, you grew up in
chains,
Austin,
malls.
right? Didn't
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah,
Okay,
I grew
well,
up
I
in the
mean, it's hard to
suburbs.
avoid that in freaking Texas, dude. Everything's chain in Texas, which
everything.
I love Texas, man. I'm born and raised too.
Yeah.
But my old former boss in Chicago was the one who pointed that out to me, and Hannah and I didn't believe that at first. He was like, the only thing I don't like about Texas, he went to UT originally, and he moved back up to Illinois.
Yeah.
And he said is that you don't get any of that mom and pop stuff, man. It's
No,
like
man.
it's so chain.
Yeah, it is.
And until
too.
recently, it's been that way. But go on. But I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally the way. Like even growing up in Austin, which is like local hipster, and,
Right,
like,
right.
has the whole keep it weird slogan. There's a lot of chains there, very small mom and pop places. But the good place I went to the last trip I went to was we went to Italy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. We
Never
went to 3 cities: Rome, Florence, and Venice. All right, let me just start off. Oh no, I'll end with the last. No. Let me start off.
You go.
Let me just say, I fucking hate Venice. Venice.
Just go
Venice.
straight in it. Fuck
Venice.
All right.
Fuck Venice. It's such a touristy place. Like everything about it is fake. Like every other shop was made for a tourist, and yeah, it's just that's all the people that stay there are like tourists. There's nothing but hotels on that island. It's
Sure.
like nobody really lives there, or like everybody goes to make money off of the tourists.
Right.
Anyways, but Florence is beautiful. Fucking loved it, and like we made every possible attempt to like just find like hole in the wall restaurants. And like just like gotta like go of all these preconceived notions of like what Italian culture is like, because when I went there, it was completely different from what I thought it would be. Like I thought I knew what Italian food was, and what every Italian eats over there is completely outside of what we could ever think
Is
of.
it really?
Yeah. All right. First thing we ate was the weird thing was raw beef. They had like raw ground beef. I forgot what they call it, but they put like a yolk in the middle of it, and just looking at it, it's like literally like the raw beef you buy at the supermarket.
What is that? What is that called? Well, wait, is it like ground beef? Or are you talking
It
about?
is ground beef.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say there was like that really thin sliced beef. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
really,
it's yeah, like salumi and like like
it's really like choice too. It's like really high quality.
it's fantastic. There's like
But okay,
like
oh wait, so
pancetta,
ground beef.
It is ground
with
beef.
with the yolk. Hold on. Okay, go.
It looks like the ground beef you buy at the supermarket, right?
Mhm.
But when you go to Italy, like these like the quality of food is so much better than what we have here. They like it's like raw egg yolk like in the middle of it all. And it's just like when you look at it, you're like, this is like ground beef and everything.
Sounds like diarrhea, man.
But it looks beautiful. When they like bring it out to you, it looks so beautiful. I've ever seen such beautiful raw beef in my life.
Wow.
I tried it out.
I'd try it.
It's like butter, dude. It's like butter. It like melts in your mouth. It's amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Anyways, like
it's not cooked at all. Nothing.
Yeah. Not cooked at all. Nothing is cooked. It was like unbelievably delicious. Yeah, man, and like all these kinds of foods, like wild things you never think of like eating. Like charcuterie is like a huge thing. That's what like you're talking about.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing I would eat at every Italian restaurant I ever ran into. Pastas, I would avoid every pasta unless it's like a ravioli or like a thing, or unless like
a stuffed pasta.
Like a stuffed pasta, because you got to make that
stuffed pasta.
And like all the other pastas are kind of like boxed and kind of thing. Like a friend of mine that came with me is like ordering carbonara everywhere we went, and like literally it was like the worst dish they probably had, because it was like a box. It was like a box.
Yeah. You're not getting the local flavor. Yeah. You're just taking your American.
No local orders.
Take on it. Yeah,
it's an American thing. It's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, but that's like the way it is. It's like
so they don't eat pasta like all the time. They don't do that.
I guess it just depends on the region. Like Florence is like all about the meats.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is all about the region. Yeah.
And like Rome is so hard to eat local food. Like it's such a huge tourist destination.
I was gonna say, I heard Rome is like really dirty and like just not fun as far as Italy goes. I heard that Rome is like people who go to Rome that like want to see like Italy end up hating Rome and want to go somewhere else.
Yeah, dude.
The same thing as Paris. Like Paris, France, dude. Paris is disgusting.
That's what I heard.
Straight up, dude. Paris is gross as fuck, man. It is so dirty. It's like one of the dirtiest cities you'll ever go to. Like you talk to anybody who goes to like France regularly or anything with that, and I don't know people who go to France regularly, but in the general consensus, is that Paris is dirty as shit.
I hear the same thing. And like Parisians, no offense if you're a Parisian and listening, you're just an asshole or assholes. I know two Parisians.
Do you really?
I do. They're from, I don't know what it is.
They're living here in Austin.
Here. Yeah, I just met them through biotech. Like
okay. So
biotech
that makes
huge
more
thing
sense
in Paris, right? Anyways,
that makes more sense.
But very very just like I don't want to describe everybody, but the
pompous asshole. Is that what you're getting out of this?
The
way you looked like when you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I met I met a couple of other. I know a lot of French people for some reason. I met a couple of other people from France.
Well, isn't biotech like pretty big for French? Like I thought that was like a thing.
Maybe
I'm wrong. I just feel like I've heard that.
I think you're
before.
right, because my company works with a lot of French companies. I've realized it's like a huge thing. I did not notice that. But
we haven't even gotten into what you fucking do.
Yeah.
Over here, but keep going. We'll go.
Anyways,
we'll get to that in a minute.
We're leading to this. This will segue into what I do.
I feel so often that that an hour and 35 minutes, and that's first hour, so we're only have like 45 minutes right now. So it's actually not an hour and 45 minutes. It's 45 minutes.
We're at 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes. Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It goes by fast, doesn't it?
Man, it's flying by.
It does.
God
yeah.
Damn.
But
I feel like I haven't conveyed enough information.
Right. Dude, and you feel that until the end. You really do. And it's just like shit. And especially like, being busy and stuff, you get to a point of where it's like, God damn it, I don't want this to end, but I gotta be up in fucking 6 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's
so
what I
true.
always do. Anyway, go on. We were deep into conversation. I
We're
keep
talking about-
interrupting this shit.
What are we talking
Just
about?
go. We're talking about Italy and the different regions comparatively, and you were talking about how you knew many French people
That's
and Parisians
right.
are pompous assholes.
Parisians,
And there you
pompous
go.
assholes. Yeah, and I just know other French people that agree. That's all.
That was it.
That was the end of
Okay.
that. Anyway,
So
but yes, and then I've been to Barcelona,
You go.
which is like a fucking
Now,
another
can I-
world, man.
now you need to tell me about this because Hannah and I are talking about for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Doing Barcelona.
I hear it's fantastic. All right, you got to prepare yourself for
Okay.
an entire culture shock. Like
Okay.
we got there, right at
Quick question: do you speak Spanish?
I speak like Spanish gibberish, if you will. I can
Okay.
read Spanish very well.
Not like fluent Spanish or anything.
Barcelona does not speak Spanish.
Right. They speak formal Spanish and they use the th. They do the
no,
Barcelona.
No, that's the capital of Spain, which is
It's not Barcelona?
it is not Barcelona. Barcelona speaks Catalan, which is a gypsy language.
No shit.
No lie. It's like they have their own language and they're very proud of it. And it is slightly different than Spanish.
What's it
Uh,
called?
Catalan.
Catalan.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to
I'm gonna
learn
have
it.
Write that down.
Yeah. It is very different. It is like you can speak Spanish and a lot of them understand Spanish.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
being in Spain. Yeah.
But that Barcelona and that and like kind of like region is the only like very region where like they have like that barrier of language. Like some people refuse to learn Spanish based on
really, it's just that proud.
yeah, like how proud
Yeah,
they
proud,
are of
yeah.
their language and
That's
all.
incredible.
But
What's it a mix of? Do you know?
I'm just gonna. I don't know. I would
Spitballing,
just
yeah,
guess it's
kinda
just
thing.
like Gypsy, Romans, and Spanish people, and they just created
Cool.
their own language.
Cool.
When they were there.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
What is the capital of Spain?
I have no fucking idea. You're asking the wrong person.
I don't know.
Neither of us are gonna look like an idiot over here. Do you know how much like cultural shit we just like,
Madrid.
spouted off of?
Madrid.
That-
That's what it is. It's Madrid.
So okay, so funny thing about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, my family is Cuban. I need to learn Spanish. Hannah speaks almost fluent fucking Spanish
No
out there.
way.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we need to converse.
She will sit there and talk about me with my family, and
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Are you serious? Oh my god.
Yes, and honestly, I love it. I think
Yeah.
that's amazing. I need to finish learning because she was that kid in high school who actually practiced because no one fucking practiced with
Yeah,
it,
no one practices.
and she practiced. I
That's
mean, but
fantastic.
she's that type of person. She'll do it, and she benefited from it. I should have done it, but I was trying to learn Rosetta Stone to convey because my grandparents. I am very into my heritage.
Mhm.
I want to learn so much more about it. I love every time I get to meet up with my grandparents because they get to tell me more about it. They
Yeah.
are very into being Cuban. They are very into keeping that alive within the culture,
Yeah.
and I have instilled that. And Hannah is very into it too, and we want to instill that in our kids, even though they'll be only a quarter Cuban because I'm only a half.
Yeah.
And we want that there. My mom came over at a very young age, and she, in order to fit in, became very Americanized. So until the last probably like 10 years,
Yeah.
10 years, she didn't ever want to like do anything to do with Cuban.
Oh, really?
And there's very good reason for that, which I'm not going to get on
Yeah.
to over mic. But it's just it was very hard for her
Mhm.
growing up, and so she wanted to fit in. So she became very American. So she didn't want to have to deal with anything,
Totally
with
understand
that
it,
coming
yeah.
over. I love learning about the heritage and everything. And before they came over to the States, they lived in Spain. They lived in Holland.
yeah.
And they found my grandparents and my mother and my aunt are true products of the American dream.
Yeah.
They really are. They're fucking amazing. Sorry, I'm just getting on a tangent
No,
here,
keep
but
going.
I love talking about them because
so
they're just
much.
amazing. They went from riches to rags to riches. They
Yeah.
literally did that. Of where my grandmother really didn't have much, but my grandfather was very, very rich in Cuba,
Mhm.
and he used to be to the point of where he used to be driven in a Rolls Royce to school,
Oh,
and then he went from that
Yeah.
to to a whole bunch of crap happening. Again, we're not gonna talk about that. But to coming over here, and to living in a shitty apartment in downtown Houston where they slept on a used mattress with ponchos as blankets, and then they rose back up. And now he's a petroleum engineer, and he's been one for fucking I don't know how many goddamn years. And then my mom's the head of a fucking awesome school district. She's not that. Okay, let me rephrase that. She's not the head of a school district. She is the head of a certain department in a school district that is very big, and people keep electing her for higher and higher positions.
Still, that's amazing.
But it's this is the American dream in product right here, right? Sorry, man, this went on a huge tangent, but it just made me sit there. I love talking about my grandparents because they are just awesome fucking people. I love just
sound fucking awesome.
They're fucking awesome people, man.
Fucking quite a story, man. That's a story. We should bring them on this show.
I would love to.
With Hannah as a translator.
Yeah, with Hannah. No, they can speak. They can both speak English very well. Except for it's funny because my grandmother speaks very good English, except she every now and then goes the how you say, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then my grandfather speaks very good English until he gets into a joke and he'll start speeding through it because he speaks Spanglish, and then so like halfway through it he'll just start laughing and you just laugh with him. I remember Hannah meeting him for the first time and she's like, "What do you say?" I was just laugh, just go, just laugh because you have no fucking idea what he said that halfway through it because he just kept going.
That's hilarious.
And it was just gone.
I love people like that. They love their jokes so much they just start laughing in between it.
Well, and he's Cuban too. So if you're hearing like Cuban people when they speak Spanish are very fast, very fast going through Spanish. It. It's very fast formal Spanish. Yeah. It's almost like singing when you hear them sing it. Say it with it. But anyway, they were talking to me about Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I need to learn. And so I was like, should I learn? I was like, Grandma, should I learn Latin America or should I learn Spanish? Because I don't have anything with this. Because she was like, you need to learn formal Spanish. That's what we speak. You need to learn formal Spanish. That's what you need to know. Yeah. And she goes, there's so much Spanish that gets like into different dialects going through everything and slang and everything that this is the one you want. You start with this and then you take that from there because everybody will understand formal Spanish and you can apply it to whatever you're going to. I was like, okay. And she was like, no, use Spain. She goes, but you're going to run into a problem. I said, what? She goes, there's going to be a TH in it.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? She goes, she's like, there's a whole bunch of stories. Basically, they say that the king there at a time had a lisp and required everybody to speak with the TH because he couldn't do C's.
Yeah.
And so instead of Barcelona, it'd be Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah.
Because he had a fucking lisp.
Fuck it.
There's like billions of stories though going about this, but apparently that's what it was with it. And so I'm doing this, and it doesn't like me talking to it because I first off I can't roll my goddamn R's, and the second thing I'm just like, this sounds stupid saying the TH with it.
That's hilarious.
Longest fucking story going through this, but keep talking about Spain. Oh my God, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta learn to roll your R's. That's
I
really
can't do it,
important.
dude. I can't. My grandmother insists that you can learn to do it.
I feel like you.
Do you think you could learn to do it, or do you think it's like
an
innate ability,
you can learn to do it?
Tongue?
But every person that I've taken, so in high school, I took Spanish classes just for an easy A. Every person in Spanish class, you can't learn. You don't learn to do it. It's like a child thing. It's like whistling. It's like whistling.
It is like whistling.
Once you pass a certain age, you can't ever learn to whistle. It's just done. You can't do it, so you can't roll your R's. You can't whistle either?
I can, but it doesn't sound right.
Dude, you're a musician. I feel like you should whistle. No, that doesn't sound right.
That's what it sounds like.
No, it doesn't.
It's just
that's
air.
not whistling.
I know. It's fuck off. You're like, no, that's not whistling.
I'll try to
what are you
whistle.
doing? You can whistle?
I can't whistle.
You can't whistle.
No,
I can't. See, how do people do the one where it's under the tongue?
Dude, that's too hard.
My stepmom can fucking do that.
That's fucking badass.
I know. I wish she could do it. I was like, how do you do that? She goes, I don't know. I got taught by my dad. I was like,
my dad can do it too. I asked my dad, hey, Dad, can you teach me how to whistle? I was like, no, you're too old. I'm sorry. And he just walked away.
Oh.
I was like 10 years old. I was 10 years old and too old. He taught my sister how to whistle. She can whistle.
Oh, yeah.
It was terrible.
And you're like, it's fucking awful.
It's hilarious. It's like, I don't know why it doesn't come up. If you know how to, you need to teach your kids how to whistle early on.
Okay.
Yeah. California guy, teach your kids how to whistle.
Okay. On that note, I have to pee really bad. I have the smallest bladder known to man. We're going to take a quick break. We got... What were we doing? Rusty what?
Shackelford.
Rusty Shackelford. Rusty Shackelford on the show. F. Torres. Fernando T. Going through this whole thing.
I feel like everyone has multiple names on this show.
Why not? Just go for it. Go for it. This is Chris Marks, aka Jake Perry. This is Useless Threats. I'll be right back. You've never changed it?
No, dude. They make
No
you,
way.
Yeah. So with your Texas driver license, they make you go in every other time to renew it, so you can renew your photo. But they fucked up with mine, and I keep renewing it online, and they keep printing the picture. So I'm just gonna keep doing it until it causes a problem.
Do you look that different? I
No, I
mean,
don't.
can you tell that you're
just
like?
have a fro is all it is.
Okay, but you can tell it's you, right?
Yeah, it's me.
Well, then you're good.
Yeah.
But you have a fro.
I do have a fro.
Like how big of a fro?
It's pretty big, man. It's like massive. I let my hair grow out. It's like down in my fist and just froed out. Yeah, dude. I have curly hair, so it just froze out. Yeah. And then I used to just wake up in the morning and just there's nothing I can do and just walk out. It was amazing. It was amazing. And then I got a job where I had to be presentable and just had to trim it down.
Okay, so speaking on that, first off, we're going to talk about this beer real quick, and then we're going to get a little into you, so people know who you are and how badass of a person you are.
This is delicious.
How
beer.
bad of a person you are. You're a terrible person. That's what I was going to say.
We can get into some stories.
So this is the barrel-aged Big Bison from Crown Valley Brewing, and it's an ale aged in red wine barrels. So you said it's delicious. I haven't even tried it yet. Is it really good?
It is really.
You want
good.
to see this? Here,
Yeah,
here's the barrel for the. It's only 6.9. Is that what that said on the side? There's the bottle for that. Oh wow, that's like you get a lot of the red wine in that.
6.9. Yeah, it does taste like a red.
Oh wow. Yeah, you get the red wine, but it's like you get I don't know what red wine it was, but like you get the residual dryness on your tongue, and it's like nice raspberry and strawberry, tones to it. It's not like too dark of a red. That's quite nice.
It's very good. On here it says to serve warm.
Serve warm?
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me. A lot of the barrel aged ones you do.
It's pretty funny.
I'm good with this as long as you're good.
This is fantastic. Yeah, no, it was good. I like it.
What does it say? 6.9? Is that what it said?
6.9. What is IBU?
IBU is International Bitterness Units. So a 23. That's very low.
Yeah.
So I think they say 114. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
On that, but that's like as much bitterness as your tongue can differentiate between. You can go higher than that, but your tongue can't taste past it. Oh. So a really strong IPA, a little like an Imperial IPA would be like 100 IBUs.
Yeah. What is the triple IPA on?
A triple IPA?
Yeah.
It would be. I mean, you're getting way past that. I mean, so like McKellar. You're talking about McKellar earlier.
Yeah.
McKellar has one that's called the McKellar 1000. And it says it's 1,000 IBUs. It's obviously not 1,000 IBUs, but it's just
there's no way to tell.
It's just I think I want to say it's 118 now. Why is this? This is like
118.
This is fucking bullshit. This mic.
Yeah.
Was bitching about this on the last episode too.
Are you really? Do you always sit in that seat? I feel like we could switch.
No, we're not switching. You get the throne, man. That's how it works,
dude,
man.
Dude, you have fur.
I know you're feeling it, dude. That's so Kellen, when he was on here, is just sitting here with that pillow in his lap, just petting it.
Yeah, man.
It's fucking awesome, right? You got it's like a bearskin rug behind you, and you feel like a fucking king, right?
Like on the Game of Thrones.
That's what I fucking was going for.
Yeah, dude.
I was going for it.
I feel it.
I'm building a new table coming up this next week when I have it off, because they'll be at the CBC at the Craft Brewers Conference.
Yeah.
And I did it. I'll show it to you later. But there's two halves of a pallet.
Yeah.
I'm putting them on top of each other, and I have boards going across. It's gonna look really fucking nice. But I'm gonna have a really nice table in here now, instead. Nice. And I'm gonna put it on wheels.
You can move it around. Man, this place has a lot going on, actually. It's a very small room.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this room, but I feel like it's very relaxing at the same time.
I agree. It is really relaxing.
Right? There's a shit ton of stuff in this room, but it's really relaxing.
It's very homey.
I've worked very hard to make that feeling occur.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to hold this from now on. This is kind of stupid, but whatever.
Do you? Is it falling down?
Yeah. It's whatever. It's fucking bullshit. I'll fix it next break. It's all good.
Anyways.
Okay, hold on. If I do it like this.
What's up? What's up with the threading on your mic?
So I mean, these are just cheap mic stands. That's why I think I just got it. Yeah. So the threading up here like strips, so it's not like where the mic is like
Is
on there. It's where that it's where the like handle for the mic is on there, and so that's stripped on the inside.
Yeah.
And so like I'd have to like rip it out and like glue it on, which I have this stuff called. See, look at that.
Yeah.
I have this stuff called goop.
Yeah.
That is for like putting industrial auto parts together.
Yeah.
And that shit I'm gonna fucking just straight up do.
No. There's thread tape you should get.
I was gonna get thread tape, but then I was gonna goop it on top of it.
On top of it.
I'm just gonna straight up do both.
I'll just bring you some thread tape from work. I'll just steal it.
Oh, dude, thank
no,
you.
I don't steal anything from work.
You just said that.
We're gonna talk about this. This way. Yeah, I'll bring you some.
Do you want to edit that out?
Yeah, let's edit that out.
Okay.
And
So
start here.
So I'm gonna do a quick 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay.
And that last part was edited out.
Yeah, and that last part was edited out. See, I will do this for people, but only under extreme circumstances.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to edit that out.
Oh, you don't want to?
No, it's all right.
Oh, we're going
You can leave
straight forward with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's goddamn tape.
They find out it's tape. I'm like, I stole it. And
You're
they
so
fire
angry
me
about
for it.
it.
Then
Yeah.
it kind of lets me know where I stand.
I get. You know what? That is true. That is true.
Funny.
So.
It'd be really funny, actually, if all your listeners worked at my company and that. It's like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, I know that guy. There's like one Fernando Torres working at this company. And
Yeah,
like,
we know that guy. Yeah,
like
he stole all our goddamn fucking thread tape.
yeah, we're out of thread tape. Fuck. What are we gonna do?
Okay, there's that pop. Okay, I think I got it now.
Oh shit. Well done.
I think I did. Do you see? Is it moving? I don't think it is.
I don't think so, man.
I think I did it.
That was good.
All right, that was a nice pop in there.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna get into this now.
Yeah.
You know, we're only like over an hour in, but we're gonna actually get into who you are.
Yeah.
This is my buddy.
Yeah.
Over here,
Rusty Shackelford.
and he does some really fucking cool shit. And he says it's not as cool, but every time he announces to me what it is, I think it's really cool. So can you go ahead and state what your title is and what you do?
My title. Oh, it changed. I'm like a scientist 1 now. Yeah.
Scientist 1.
Yeah. There's like 1, 2, 3. There are 3 levels of assistant scientist to get through before you get to scientist 1, which is yeah, that's just how it works.
And what do you do?
Anyways, what do? I create tests for diagnosing types of cancer, and like the tests let patients know how severe their cancer is or what kind of cancer there is, and it lets their doctor decide on how to proceed with surgery or what kind of treatment they should get.
And you try and act like this isn't like fucking badass sounding.
I'm very low on like the totem pole of
but
all
it
this.
doesn't
It's
matter. It still sounds like it's
Oh,
like
man.
just like I'm a scientist and I develop tests for what kind of cancer you have. That fucking doesn't sound badass because to me that sounds badass.
You know what would be interesting is for everyone to know, like, just like how difficult it is for these companies to work with like patients and physicians. It's like
Do it. Go into
insurance
it.
companies.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many barriers to just get results out, and like the government. The government just recently like made it pretty easy to work with companies to like speed track cancer tests that can help people like with the diagnostics and things like that. But like literally like 2 years ago, it was almost impossible to get anything going. It's like a wall, like a hurdle. Like you need to have a really good product before you could market it. And like now it's like you can have a good useful product. It doesn't have to be like amazing, awesome, or it doesn't have to be like without faults, because just the truth is like creating something that's like perfect is impossible. And like, curing cancer is almost impossible. Like every cancer is different. Like you can have the same like stomach cancer. You can like fall under stomach cancer, but like your stomach cancer is specific to you.
Right.
Like, yeah, and like that's what our test does. It tells you exactly what kind of it tells you the fingerprint of your cancer, and like maybe there's a drug that can treat your specific stomach cancer, and like you'll know that you qualify for that drug, and you can get into like tests and things like that, and like clinical trials that'll help patients get in there, and like yeah, I mean it does go a long way to help people. It's like a game. It's a game. Every company that has a test for this cancer, or like stomach cancer. Stomach cancer is just kind of my example, but we have like multiple tests on various cancers. But everybody's like competing to be the one test like you should take, right? And I feel that's just like really wrong. I feel like you should just step aside when you have the like, I guess what would I say, like the amateur version of the test. If a better test comes out, like a company wants to make money, they're not just gonna let that better test like enter the market. Like they're gonna crush that company before anyone finds out about the test. Like they don't want other people to go to that other company, and like that's where people lose out, and like all these awesome products, and like and like we're an MBA school,
that's like the shitty side of capitalism, right?
That's capitalism, dude. It doesn't look out for other people. It looks out for the people that have an investment in that company.
I don't typically get into several subjects, but I don't limit myself to it. I don't care. It's just I don't usually state my opinions on it, but those usually ones are politics, religion, and sexual orientation. It's just usually the ones of if you want to get into a fight with someone, that's usually the three that you go to. Dude, with that.
Sexual religion is not even on my three. It was politics, religion, and
you
money.
Just said sexual religion, sexual orientation.
Hey, sexual orientation. Hey.
Oh, that was good. No. It's just like this day and age with it. You never know who you're talking with. And I don't mind getting into it, and if anybody is like game for talking about it, it's just some people get very, defensive very fast.
Yeah.
But that aside, that is a downfall of capitalism, is that you do see that, to where the people will suffer sometimes because a bigger company can buy out. But you would hope again it's business. You would hope that on some level, at least, that would push that bigger company to come out with a test that's even better.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many times? I don't know the industry. Hope you would hope that would happen, but that kind of is shitty.
My company does like little diagnostic tests,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. They're not too big. But the huge problem is the drugs and the pharmaceutical companies. Like, man, you invest so much money into making this drug, you got to find every possible use for this drug to make money, and like that company can't
every
exist.
Side use, every you got the main use and then every side use that could possibly come out of it.
Like I don't know, they sell it to people who can afford this drug for like things they don't really need, but at the same time, like this money that they earn, like they use it to some good companies out there use it to develop drugs that for people in third world countries that can't afford these type of things.
That's awesome.
That's what you pay for in the end. But
and that's what you hope to pay for in the end, right? You hope that you did your research on who you're supporting and everything, that you did end up doing that.
Yeah.
Right. And see, my stepdad is your favorite person over here, because my stepdad is one of those guys. He is an amazing psychiatrist, but he also is a guy who he loves to nerd out on medical stuff.
Yeah,
we always used to joke that he's Dr. House.
Oh my god,
from friggin' it, because he doesn't read or anything, but the only thing that he does actually keep up with is medical trivia. Like,
Oh my
essentially,
God.
and he's
Yeah.
always up to date on the newest shit, which is awesome. You want that in a doctor. That's fucking awesome. But
Yeah,
like
you
every time
do.
I talk to him, I'm just like, man, I think I have some stuff going on here, you know. And I'm that freaking paranoid guy, right? I grew up with 2 psychiatrists as parents, essentially, right? And one of them's an MD, so I'm constantly paranoid of what I have. I've
Yeah.
gotten a lot better about it, but I used to be like super paranoid of what I had. I was like, man, I'm sick with this. I'm sick with this, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And he'd
yeah.
be like, you're not fucking sick with that.
God,
I'm talking
yeah.
to him for 2 seconds. But I remember like telling him I'll have some like random problem of where I'll have like some like random rash or something like it's
Yeah.
like I stepped in something or something, right? He's like, well, he's like, you could buy this cream, but he's like, there's this medication that's originally for ulcers, but it'll take that shit right away. So
Yeah.
you take one of those pills a day, that rash is gone. And he's fucking right. He's fucking right every time. It's the most random shit. Of it's just like, well, this pill's originally for antidepressants, but if you take it like this, you'll drop 50 pounds. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah.
Dude, yeah, that's what all doctors should do. Like learn up and learn new things. The problem is sometimes you'll get a bad doctor that just thinks they know everything.
Well, and you see that pretty often. You see that,
Yeah.
unfortunately, you see that pretty often. I mean, I can't tell you how many bad encounters I've had between friends and stuff of where they've gone to, especially like if like say while you're in college, right?
Yeah.
And you go to that doctor on campus, and because they're not invested, because they're on campus, right? You ain't a paying person. You're on campus. They don't give 2 shits about you.
Yeah.
They don't, and that's fucked up. Like
Oh, yeah.
honestly, you need to like. That's really. I mean, I understand how you can become jaded. I'm sure after many years of practice and everything, you can become jaded. But you got to remember why did you get into this in the first place?
Yeah.
And if your answer's like anything but like either like scientific knowledge and wanting to gain for knowledge or helping people, then you need to get the fuck out of here.
Dude, man.
And that's really what it comes down to is just like if you're not doing it for like the love of it or for like helping people, then you need to get out of it, because if you're just doing it for the money, you're a shitty doctor. You're a
That's so
shitty
true.
doctor, dude.
They gotta know when to step aside. Like at some point, you're just too old and you can't keep up with it, and you gotta step aside and let younger people come in.
Or even like before that, like even just like younger doctors who are just like, I'm gonna make a big paycheck off of this, which is funny because like that actually used to make sense, 20 years ago. Nowadays that doesn't make any sense,
No, it
because
doesn't.
nowadays you're not doing it for the paycheck. You ain't gonna make shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like
That's so true.
unless you got your stuff together, you ain't gonna make shit.
Yeah.
And like that's almost like a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, right? Like again, not trying to get too into politics, but because of the way the healthcare industry is going and everything, is if you're trying to get into it for the money, you're kind of fucked now.
Yeah,
Because the
that's
only
so
people who
true.
are gonna get into the money for now is you better be exceptional.
Yeah, and or
That's
a
really all it
surgeon.
is now.
Surgeon or like specialized. or
Right. Before you could make a lot of money in the healthcare industry, like 20-something years ago, you could make a shit ton of money in the healthcare industry. Now you find more often than not good doctors having to make compensations because they can't afford it. And again, I'm not trying to get into politics here, but I'm just like coming from a medical family, I'm just stating a few facts here of you've got people who are really, really good doctors who are just trying to practice, but they can't make any goddamn money.
Yeah, you just
Because
can't.
this, and then you got the other doctors who can't do shit and are wanting a ton of money and aren't making shit.
Yeah, I mean
You
that's
know,
true. Like,
so-
when I was into it, like someone told me I shadowed a pediatric oncologist, which by God is like the saddest job in the world. Because if you're a
That
kid,
sounds fucking horrible.
if you're a kid and you have cancer,
God, that sounds fucking horrible.
like it's not like a good cancer. It's usually a life-threatening cancer, and
Right.
there's
There are only a
nothing you can
few
do.
people in the world who can just sit there and handle that.
Yeah, dude, and like I went a couple of times, and like almost every time I went, she cried, like every day, because just
God
they're
damn.
just
How
so sad.
taxing.
Yeah, dude,
that
it is taxing.
man.
She told me like she just once told me this little kid's gonna die. There's nothing I can do for him. And I was like, dude, why the fuck? Like doctors, like they can only do what tools they've been given, which is why I work at my company, because my company gives people tools.
That's awesome.
But that's
First
like
off-
a good thing. Yeah.
First off, You're fucking awesome. You remember that. You
The
remember
company.
that.
The
Okay.
company's awesome.
Okay.
I work. I
No,
just-
no, no,
I
no,
know,
no. Your
see?
company's awesome, but you are awesome.
That's cool.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
But okay. So 2 things with that. First off, is I respect and admire anybody who ever does those professions with that.
Oh, yeah,
But
I agree.
the
Yeah.
thing I'm going to say
Go on.
on that is that there's a very certain type of person who can do those level of jobs.
Yeah.
They have to be able to let go of that. And even, okay, so growing up with 2 psychiatrists. So my parents are divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And divorced so early that I don't even remember having them together. I
Oh.
don't. I have a terrible memory, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And my dad's an awesome person.
Mhm.
My stepmom's an awesome person. My mom's an awesome person, and my stepdad's an awesome person. I really lucked out on this entire divorce
Yeah,
thing.
you did. Yeah.
It was kind of friggin' awesome.
Sounds-
They're all great people. My dad, I've talked to my real dad every week for as long as I can remember.
That's good.
He's awesome.
That's
He's an
fantastic,
awesome
yeah.
dude. And he's a big craft beer lover. So me doing this and we're just
Oh
talking
my
all the time now. He's
God.
like, dude, this is badass.
That's
we're
funny.
talking. But anyway, back to my mom and my stepdad. There's a certain type of person that can do that job. And I have watched growing up my stepdad and my mom do these jobs, and they are both incredibly good in their field to the point of where they are very, very, very recognized through Texas, if not throughout the United States,
Oh wow.
depending on they're both type A workaholics.
Yeah.
They're amazing parents. Had some troubles growing up, but they are amazing parents. They really are. They tried their fucking best the whole time, and they are workaholics. And I call my mom super mom all the time because I have no idea how she balanced everything.
Yeah.
Even if there was any kind of neglect, god damn it, I have to give it to her because fuck. She put 99.999% of everything before herself
Yeah.
and made it through the whole entire time. God damn it. I can't complain. I can't complain. Even with my craziness that I went through in my teenage years, I can't complain.
I'm jealous.
I went through some shit, but that's just because it runs in my family and I have a lot of anger and a lot of fucking depression and a lot of things going through it. There's a lot of shit I went through. And that's for another time. But what I will say on their level is they did their damn best. And my stepdad's ex-Marine, special ops,
Oh wow.
fucking he PTSD for most of my childhood going through it, and still to this day.
That's fucking insane.
But they fucking did it. They put that shit aside and they did it. And it might have interjected, and it definitely did.
Yeah.
But they did it,
Yeah.
And the reason I'm getting into this is that even with watching my stepdad and watching my mom, and especially my stepdad, they can sit there, and his specialty is schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
Oh wow.
And watching him, and especially in kids, and he'll sit there and he'll deal with this, and the amount of suicides or anything that comes out of that and everything, and they just brush it off and they go.
That's
and they
hard.
go,
Yeah.
and they go off of who they helped. When you're talking about someone who can deal with a kid being a kid-oncologist,
Yeah.
that's a whole new fucking level. Dude.
That's true. Yeah. You make a good point. Like brushing it off and keep going, and like that.
But that
requires,
level,
like-
that's a whole new level.
That is a whole
Like
nother level.
that level, and what I'm getting to with this is that do you know, did she practice Buddhism or anything like that? Because I feel like a
I
lot of
don't
times I talk to anybody who has relatives or anybody in that field. I've never met someone who's actually in that field.
Yeah.
But anybody who I talk to typically has a very strong belief in Buddhism or something of it's not necessarily afterlife, but
Yeah.
there is a giant purpose of why they are here
I
and
agree.
what drives them.
I feel
because
like you're right.
that's very, very hard. That field is something that you can't.
No,
let alone
I
talk.
agree.
The
Yeah.
reason I got into my parents is that the idea of being a shrink is everybody thinks it's a fucking shrink. They're not a real doctor. Bullshit. That's not even fucking close to true. You're talking about a person that has to forget anything that is going on in their life and take on a good fucking 5 people at least per day. Probably way more than that
Oh, yeah, that's so
per
true.
day
Thought about that.
of their problems every day. So you're talking about, if you're talking about that times 7, you're talking about 35 people a week at least
Yeah.
that you have to go and forget all your problems about and whatever their crazy is and take that upon yourself.
That's like someone who can shoulder the burden of others while
Right.
maintaining themselves. And,
Right.
Like, help you get through shit. Like, yeah. You're
Right. So if that person can do that and as a shrink, I can't even imagine what a kid on colleges has to go through.
I agree.
can't even fucking deal with that. Like,
think you're
I
right.
can't do that. My parents told me from a very early age, I'm actually very good at that shit.
Yeah.
I naturally have that. And they told me from a very early age, they're like, we'll pay for you to do anything in college. Hence, the fact that I did music. They paid for me for anything in college. They said, we are not fucking paying for you to do psychology.
Oh, wow.
Like, they said, any day. They said, we love it. The stress that comes along with it, I would not wish upon my worst enemy. It's just, it's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, you see like a kind of like a wall, I guess you're facing, and it's I never really thought about it, like what they view, like your child in colleges, most of your patients are going to die. Like the best you can do is ease their pain. It's you have to have a reason to keep doing this. I mean, like, these, like, she cried. She really cares about her patients. Like, these people care about what they do, and they really desperately want to help these people in every way possible. But they realize their limitation, and like, you're right. They must have, like, there's got to be a reason behind it all.
They've got to drive.
There's driving them.
There's something with that drive that this is what they were. Whatever you believe in, whatever's going on, they had something with them that was like, this is what I need to do. Like there is no person that is sitting out there. It's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go and talk to children that are dying. Yeah. There's no such thing as that profession. That doesn't exist. Like, these people who do this choose it because they know that they have to be able to deal with it, and they feel like they can help that person through it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it's like, it's just it's a whole another level of a person. I definitely could not do it.
I can't either, and I will tell you again 2 things. One, first off, this is the deepest I've ever gotten on the show. I'm very excited. I'm glad that you came on this. I didn't even know what to expect. I gotta tell you, I didn't know what to expect with doing this show. I thought we were gonna have fun no matter what. Yeah. But I didn't know what to expect. This is pretty cool because this is the other side of the show that I wanted to get into. This is pretty sweet. This is deep. The second thing is, and it is much less deep, is that I have to pee again.
Me too.
This is the next beat.
Let's take a break.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can take the nice bathroom. I will take this one. Okay.
All right. Break.
All right. Break. So,
How's it going? All right, here we go.
Okay. So we gotta talk about this. So you got really excited when I just poured this. This is a smog stout.
Oh God, yeah.
So Hannah had gotten me this beer a little bit ago, trying to be like, really sweet and everything with the craft beer industry, and she got me the Smog Stout, which is from The Hobbit, and I pulled it out, and Fernando was like, "Oh my God!" Yeah. And but I was like, "Dude, go ahead and pour it, but go ahead and explain." Yeah, I guess your
my
girl
excitement.
Likes it. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I'm a nerd at heart. I don't delve too much into my nerdiness among people, but it's pretty funny. I like The Hobbit. You don't like it?
No, it's good. It had there was a little residual taste at the end there that was interesting, but it's not it's not bad. Don't worry about it.
I thought it was delicious, man. Hey, remember I said you need a conflict on your show? This is a conflict. I like this.
This is the conflict. You will fucking like this beer. Who is it by? Because I know they had.
I'm trying to look that up.
They had, I think it's on the side of the bottle.
It's like like a smoky bacon bits.
I mean, I like it now. At first, it seemed like there was a mineral, like, into it that I didn't appreciate.
It's an imperial stout.
Yeah,
which we talked about with chili peppers.
It's definitely got a smokiness to it. It's got chili peppers in it, really?
Yeah, dude.
I don't get a lot of spice.
8.5, 65 IBU.
I get more of a smokiness like you were talking about with it, but I do find it good.
Fish Brewing Company. Fishtail Ales, which is like, in my opinion, is a terrible name for a brewing company. Who wants to drink fish beer?
Well, we're having the Smog Stout, and I'm not a hard person to impress, which is funny because we're doing a podcast with
Yeah.
craft beer, and I don't
This
fucking
is-
care. I like beer. I do.
Check out that UPC code. It's got a
Oh,
Gandalf,
that is
a
really
Lady and the
awesome.
Hobbit.
Look at that.
It's hilarious. Man,
That's pretty
This
sweet.
label is the greatest marketing scheme ever thought of for craft brew.
So did you see the what is it? The Colbert Report when they had Smog
No,
come through?
no, I didn't.
Motherfucker, you never saw Smog come through that
No,
shit?
dude, I did not
Dude,
see that
they
one.
left it up to mystery too of whether it was like CGI or fucking actual in-house. Oh, bro, I'm gonna show you this after this. You remind me of this at the end of this. We're
yes.
gonna you gotta
Oh,
see
we
this.
need to
It's
watch this.
amazing. It's
How
amazing.
did I miss this? Oh my god, we gotta watch
Um,
this. Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert's interview with Smog, dude. It was amazing. It's
pretty funny.
It was awesome. They did an incredible job. No, this is pretty good. As far as I didn't realize it was a chili pepper beer. As far as chili pepper beers go, I typically like a lot more spice to it. But again, since they're saying it's like Smog Stout, they're probably catering to a lot of people who are not typically into the craft beer industry. They're trying to like, be like, oh, it's Smog Stout. You gotta have this because you like Lord of the Rings, kind of thing.
Which brings me to is it Ommegang?
Ommegang? Yeah.
Ommegang. It has the
I
Game
might
of
have
Thrones
pronounced
beer.
that wrong, but yeah, do they really?
Dude, they do.
Now that's actually a really big brewery.
Is it really?
Oh yeah,
Apparently they have some deal with HBO to have the Game of Thrones type beer,
they have
which-
a very big brewery, dude.
which Easy Tiger was like having some special deal going on this week.
Really?
Yeah. I recently looked into it. I didn't know about Ommegang.
So Ommegang, to give you a little bit of detail on them, so they do a few different famous beers.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in French, and one of them is called La Fin du Monde, which means the end of the world.
Oh,
With it,
interesting.
and it has an earth on it that's like, and it's always you would love. First off, you would love Ommegang because you like Belgiums,
I do.
and
yeah.
that's what they do. They have Maudit, they
Yeah.
have Ommegang, and they have there's another fucking one. Tres Pistoles, and I'm not pronouncing that right, but that's the other one.
That sounds about
But
right.
they're all bombers with this. But first off, you should have La Fin du Monde because it's a 9%
Monde.
Belgian style triple. I want to say it's a triple.
Triple.
I might be wrong, but I want to say it's a triple.
I love.
They even
triples.
did a special one for the 12-12-12 thing, of where it
Yeah.
was a full size, like human size bottle
Oh,
that had like things about the end of the world happening. on it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's it's one of the best well-known Belgian brews out there.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, it's incredible. It's a very good beer. But you should check it out. But that's very awesome to see that they're doing this with it. But that's what they're mostly known for is the end of the world, which is La Fin du Monde. And then they have Maudit, and they have Tres Pistoles.
Man,
and I'm sure there's other ones on top of that, but those are their three famous beers for them.
Yeah, I definitely have to check them out.
But Game of Thrones, anyway. I'm sorry, Game of Thrones.
That's all I know.
That's badass.
Yeah.
When is it coming out? Has they already started the series?
I feel like they did. I got the impression that it's been around for a while, and I was.
I haven't seen it.
yeah,
I feel like I
it's-
haven't seen it.
I
I have the Game of Jones, which is the fucking Pipeworks. Shout out to Jeff over at Pipeworks. Fucking that beer,
Yeah.
the Game of Jones,
Yeah.
which when they barrel age is called the Barrel Age Jones Dog. That's the one that beat out Bourbon County Stout.
Whoa.
Yeah, fucking Game of Jones,
Game
and
of
it's just a
Jones.
fucking. It's, their label is the Game of Thrones like fucking like throne, right?
Yeah.
Made out of dog bones, and there's a dog just sitting there, just like Game of Jones.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant.
It's a really damn good beer.
I gotta try that beer out, dude. Yeah, ever since you got into the craft brewery scene, you've introduced me to so many beers.
Well, I hope to
Speaking of
introduce you
which-
to more.
Oh man, on my trip to Denver
Epic.
was amazing. Epic Brewery, fucking delicious. Almost every beer I
Yeah,
had.
I've fallen in love with them. They're pretty
was
badass.
Fantastic. Yeah, we have like the brainless Belgian style beers.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Like the flavored beers, like you can taste the flavors like right on, as soon as you taste it, like right up front. It's
Yeah.
not like a back thing or anything.
Yeah.
It's
Epic is killing it, man. There's so many breweries in Colorado that are
Yeah.
fucking killing it, but man, Epic is just fucking nailing it.
Rogue has a good Imperial Russian stout.
Rogue is great, man.
Rogue is really great, which also had the worst beer I've ever tasted in my life.
Which one? It was a weird one then.
It was the triple IPA, man. I told you I don't
Really?
like IPAs. I don't like IPAs.
Okay.
I mean, all right.
You know what?
It
You know
may
what?
have been good for triple IPA, but I just don't like IPAs.
You know what? I'm with you though.
Yeah.
And the reason was I had high expectations. I'm a very big person. I am very big person. I am very about like bourbon barrel aged beers.
Oh yeah.
And so Rogue has one of where they have their own whiskey. I don't know if you knew that, but
No,
Rogue
I
has their
didn't.
own whiskey.
Yeah.
I don't consider it to be very good. I
Really?
drink a lot of whiskey.
Yeah.
I don't consider it to be very good.
It's hard to be
And
good
that
whiskey.
pisses me off because I actually love Dead Guy Ale, and it really pisses me off that
Yeah.
it's like that. Anyway,
Hey man,
there's-
that's a whole nother venture. That's like exactly what you said, like distilling, right? Is it not?
that's a whole nother venture.
It's hard to
Um,
get that. Whiskey is difficult to nail.
It is, but it pisses me off with them. Sorry, hold on. Anyway,
This guy's falling asleep on his own.
I
TV
am
shit,
not
the
falling
top of
asleep.
radio show,
Fuck off.
podcast.
You
Are
fuck
we on
off,
television?
god damn
We're on
it.
podcast. Anyways, Rusty Shackelford taking over right now.
There's an ale called John Ale, which is where they did a bourbon barrel aged version of Dead Guy Ale, if I'm correct, and I thought it was disgusting.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought there was no body happening to it. It was
Ugh.
very thin,
And
and it just cut right through with the whiskey, and the whiskey did not taste that good. And
Yeah.
I'd had their whiskey before. I just didn't think it was very
yeah,
good.
I agree with you. I'm very
Which
picky on
sucks.
whiskey. Most whiskeys, they just, you just gotta have a good flavor to it. It just-
Well, I would
and-
say let's drink that
invalid.
whiskey that's right there, but honestly, I don't know about you.
Yeah, that's been there all the whole show.
It has been there the whole show, and maybe we'll do a taste after this, but if you got work tomorrow, that's your worst enemy. That's a 64.3% whiskey.
64.3. That's only like half of 100.
Yeah. So it only sits at like 113 proof. I mean, that's my favorite whiskey right there
Is it
in
really?
the world.
What is
Oh,
it?
I love it. Booker's.
Booker's whiskey. What about have you ever had Van Winkle Pappy
Van Winkle. I have not.
Pappy Van Winkle.
Is that good?
There I haven't had it. But also, while I was in Denver, I was told of a whiskey set up brewery or whatever
Sure.
that makes pretty fucking delicious bottle. Oh no, it wasn't whiskey. It was bourbon,
It's still whiskey.
which is like
You're
just
good.
like what is it, like a regional thing?
So the thing about bourbon is bourbon is the most American thing you can ever drink.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds funny, but it really is.
Yeah.
Bourbon is our scotch. So
Okay.
so you cannot have bourbon that is not made in America.
Okay.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
ours.
What is
Um,
whiskey?
Whiskey is just a type of alcohol with it. So bourbon is a type of whiskey.
Bourbon
So
falls under the whiskey category.
yes.
All right.
Yes. So bourbon was made famous in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah.
With it.
Jack Daniels is not delicious.
Jack Daniels is Tennessee,
Oh, that's Tennessee whiskey?
I believe, if I'm correct. It's Tennessee sour mash. If
Oh,
I'm
that
correct.
sounds right. Yeah.
Which no, but you're still good.
Listen
You're
to
still
this
good.
guy.
You're still good. The reason is because of the limestone that we're going through this. That's
Oh, yeah.
the reason for good bourbon is limestone,
Yeah.
which is why you see Garrison Brothers, who's over in Texas here,
Yeah.
selling a bottle for $80 a bottle. It's fucking amazing. It's
Yeah.
the limestone.
The
That's
limestone
that's
filters
the
out the
reason.
water, which is interesting. I mean, like the water makes a delicious whiskey, but at the same time, like water also could make delicious pizza, and we don't.
Well,
have
the
awesome
funny
pizza.
thing is that everything comes down to water, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah.
It does.
What are we drinking? What
and
are you putting in
and
your
that's
body?
what it comes down to is the water for the region is what it always comes down to. That's why Scotch is only from Scotland, right?
Yeah.
And those distilleries don't ever move. They're from where they are in Scotland because of the water that is going through there in Scotland.
That's true, and
That's why.
it's not like is it not also by region? Like
It is, and
what
the
is it?
water is different by region. That's why. Yes.
what is French whiskey?
French
cognac?
whiskey?
Cognac.
Oh, cognac. Yeah.
It's like just the region itself. It's a very small region from what I understood. I watched the documentary about it and just
Well, it's the same thing as there's no such thing as champagne that's not from Champagne, France. It's the same thing. It's
Good point.
called sparkling wine or whatever else.
And it's-
Prosecco.
yeah. This
Yeah.
conversation came.
You
full
can't have
circle.
scotch that's not from Scotland.
know.
Same thing. But you can't have. But that's what I'm saying is you can't have bourbon that's not from America.
Oh,
America has bourbon. That's ours.
that sounds good. Anyways,
It's
Denver
corn.
has some good bourbon.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently, there's I forget the name, but there's a company whose bourbon is highly sought after, and they usually sell out. So the only way to get it is just work a full day's shift.
So what I think I'm going to do, it just depends on if I get this job coming back when I get back from the CBC.
Yeah.
If it does, I'm going to hit my buddy Jeff up.
Yeah.
When he's coming down, and I'm gonna tell him to bring a goddamn bottle of German Men's, which is the fucking shit when it comes to bourbon. These
Yeah.
guys are up in Michigan, and they're just killing it. They're an old Featherbone corset factory. If you're ever on the outskirts of like Illinois and Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
you fucking go here. It's amazing.
This is the best.
Oh, it's so good. But it's like
you can't get it
$50.
outside.
No, they're small. They just don't have the. It's not that they don't want to. It's
Yeah.
just they can't yet. But it's like $50 for $7.50, and it's so good.
Really?
So good.
Hmm.
But I'm very highly consider. I've been thinking about it the last few days. I've been thinking about. I'm like, if I get fucking paid on this shit, even if I get like 2 days a week, I'm fucking calling up Jeff and telling him, bro, bring me back a fucking like Ravenswood rye or something.
Yeah.
Their rye is so good.
Is it really that good?
God,
That
it's
good?
so good. We so
you're melting
him and
out of
I
this company.
before he got this job, right?
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before. Like I'm getting drunk. I'm sitting here like kind of like slurring and like choking up on my saliva that's up on here.
Yeah, and you're falling asleep on me as I take.
I
over
am
your
not
show.
falling asleep on
Rusty
you. Don't you
Shackelford.
start that shit.
Rusty Shackelford podcast. Right
No, before he got that job
Yeah.
up at Pipeworks, what we used to do
Mhm.
is we used to go out for my boss, and we used to go and pick up the different whiskeys and beers
Ooh.
that you couldn't get in, which is completely illegal to do, and we bring them in and we sell them. That's what we do.
What do you mean bring him in? What do you mean? by that?
So people who will not be named
Mhm.
around the area do this as well.
Yeah.
You cannot bring in certain alcohols that are not distributed through your state or your region, depending on what the state
Distributors. Yeah. Texas
So you
is very much
you
like
can't
that.
you can't be a provider and a distributor at the same time. You cannot do that. So Thirsty Planet cannot sit there and distribute their own beer past a certain extent. You can't do it. You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
In Illinois, you actually are allowed to do that.
Okay.
To a certain extent, but only again to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So what we would do is we would go and we would grab those alcohols that we wanted
Yeah.
and we bring them back. And so I'd only gone on I think 1 or 2 trips with them.
Mm-hmm.
But what we would do, and this is how he made his connections to where he is now, is that we would go out and we would find these fucking beers and shit that you couldn't get anywhere else, and we'd bring them back and we'd sell them.
That's fucking
That's
amazing.
what we do.
Yeah. Dude, I wish somebody would do that for here because I really want some beers from other places.
I would really like the TABC to go fuck themselves.
Yeah. TABC, go fuck yourself.
That's straight up. Like, I really would. The
No
TABC
lie.
is one of the biggest things that I hate about Texas, and I love the goddamn state I'm from. I am Texas pride all the way, but fuck
Yeah.
off, man.
Yeah.
Did you say I know a lot? Did you really say that? You have no idea how much more other people around me know. But it's a great compliment. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to get you on, and I need to get some of the other brewers on here so they can just like, because I get the vibe with you. We talk about this, or where you're like me, of where you sit here and you could absorb this knowledge like all fucking day.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But I sit here and I'm just like, I don't know shit next to these guys over here.
That's why
Let's bring them in. Let's learn some more. Let's
That's
do
how
it.
I feel next to you. I'm like, I don't know shit. I'm learning so much from this guy. There's things people tell you, and you want to remember. But I mean, I guess in terms of like beers and like how things process, like you learn those things once, but unless like you really have a way to apply it towards
Unless you practice it, it's hard to retain it.
It's
Yeah.
hard to retain. Like
Yeah.
you just constantly forget
No, I feel
it.
you. Yeah.
It's like it's like any other thing, I guess, But I mean, yeah, that's why to me, like every time like someone talks to me about whiskey, like the other day I was having lunch next to this woman who had like a giant book about whiskey, and like she worked at like a good restaurant that serves like good drinks, and it's like yeah, I feel like I know what good whiskey is. I just don't know the details, and that's
Right.
like frustrating.
But and it's funny because like each one of those subjects has so much intrinsic value that
Yeah.
goes into it, right? I mean, you could talk to fucking 2 weeks full of people, and you still don't know shit, right? I mean, it's just amazing.
That's so true. That's so true.
Oh,
Speaking of which, you need to go to Whistler's. They have a lot of good whiskey drinks.
I will go there.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Fernando? We're gonna sit here and we're gonna chill a little bit longer, but I'm gonna call it quits on this.
Sounds good, man.
This is a really good interview. This is a lot of fun. I'm really excited about the way this turned out. We got pretty deep into conversation. I'll have you. You know what we'll do, especially since you're really into this, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you know when that 10th episode is happening.
Yeah.
You guys show up. We're gonna do some home brewing.
Yeah.
And you can come chill with us. And we're just gonna be drinking some beer.
It's going to be a YouTube video, right?
It's gonna be a YouTube video.
gonna be
But
a
you don't
YouTube
have
video.
to be in the video if you don't want to. You can stay in the background.
I
It's
could
not a
totally
big
be in
deal.
the video, yeah.
If you want to be in the video, you go ahead. If not, stay in the background and drink beer. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll be with us. We'll be doing some brewing.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun. But
Yeah.
but we'll come back and we'll do this. Hey man, this is Useless Threats. This is Chris Marks, aka Jake Peary. I've hit that point now. It is fun.
Yeah. We're pretty wasted.
Yeah, we got Fernando Torres. We got F
Rusty
Torres.
Shackelford. Rusty Shackelford. Quit using my name, man. Oh my god.
It's been used like millions of times throughout this episode.
I thought this is an edited version of Uncut Threads. I thought this is all cut. I thought I'm on the wrong show.
Oh, cut.